Hi everyone, welcome to my review of Charlie Chaplin's The Immigrant in 1917. Another Chaplin review once again, another Chaplin short from the Mutual films once again, and of course these two, I'll be fluttering in between both of these, dipping in and out, and I'll be reviewing all of the shorts on these two. It won't be immediately, but over the next 2 months maybe, and then of course at the same time I'll be rewatching, this week sometime, starting to rewatch all of his features and watch the 3 that I never saw before, A Woman of Paris, and then the last 2 feature films he made, and reviewing them, chronologically, and then we'll do a ranking at the end, as always. The features will be in one video, I think, and then the shorts will be something separate. Maybe, it could be a ranking of the mutuals, separately S&As, or it could just be ranking all the shorts I ever see of him. I'll maybe do that. If I try and see all of his shorts, I'll do that at the end of the year maybe, or in a few months. And because I don't really just want to do a top 10, I always find that limits things a lot of the time. But yes, I really liked The Tramp. That was my first short of Chaplin. And Easy Street, I was blown away by. I thought it was a really perfect short film. I loved it, and this one. It's just as acclaimed, really, if not more. The Immigrant. It's one of his top 10, top to 15 most acclaimed works, as short works. And you know what? This is even better for me than Easy Street. I absolutely loved this film. I thought it was even more touching, even more spiritual. Comedy, was just as good as Easy Street. At times, even better. Even more creative and just better put together, and I just think it was something I cared for even more. I absolutely loved it. It was only 25 minutes. It said 22 somewhere in 30 minutes. You can never tell, but yeah, it was only 25 minutes. And it's always a shame with these shorts. You just always ones like this, you just want to go on for a lot longer, and it's sad to see them end, like all films that you love, but yeah, it's a shame. But as a short, this really is something else. Basically, Chaplin is on this Atlantic, going across the Atlantic Ocean on this ship, and with all these immigrants, he's heading to the US, he masterfully directs this film, Chaplin. I think that as well, the way that the ship kind of moves and stuff, you see it's moving back and forward and they're all falling about. It's kind of like it changes everything up. It's just so geniusly designed, I feel. It's like the Gold Rush, really. I'm finding quite a lot of the little trademarks or little things leading to a lot of his feature films in these shorts. You can see little things. And that is kind of reminiscent of the Gold Rush with a set that moves, or seems to move, and it's just stunning here. It really is. It changes everything up, and it just adds so much, just so much to the comedy, and the situation. And as well, he does another, again, social commentaries. He explores, with a light touch, of course, immigration and stuff, and poverty. And he ties it all in perfectly, I feel. And I think this one is even more sophisticated. It's even more of a touching film, moving film, to Easy Street, and I just felt it was perfect. The first sort of 10 minutes or so is on the boat, and then they arrive in the US, and then of course they see the Statue of Liberty, and that reminds me, if any of you seen, well, most people probably have seen it, Godfather Part 2, when Vito arrives early on. And they kind of just look, when they're on the boat, the Statue of Liberty, and you see it, and this like music kicks in. Well, that is one of the greatest moments in cinema for the Godfather Part 2. And this is kind of very similar. It kind of is like that, and it's a beautiful moment, full of emotion, and then straight away it just easily flips back to the comedy. This is what Chaplin can do when he's at his best. Just the kind of transition, and also at the same time, simultaneously, making a comedy and a drama, highly powerful dramas, some of the most moving stuff I've ever seen, and then really the funniest stuff I've ever seen is from his best works. I don't think there's really funnier films than films like Modern Times, City Lights, you know, and Great Dictator. You know, ones like this. You know, Limelight is a bit more. It's not as much a comedy. Monsieur Verdot as well is not quite as much. They're a lot darker, but they're still great as well, of course. But the ones I'm talking about, you know, mainly is Silence and, of course, The Great Dictator as well. They're just some of the funniest films I've ever seen. But as well, the way he's able to mix that drama in there. And this one is just so powerful. You know, the themes of that it explores, you know, immigration and stuff, and poverty, is really, really something else. It's stunning. And of course, Edna Purviance, once again, working with Chaplin here, and you know, she plays the kind of the woman he kind of falls for again. I think this way it's even better. You know, this time is even better than it was in Easy Street. It's really, really just the way it happens. You know, the way they meet, and the kind of what happens with her mother as well. It's really something very moving. And you know, it's just by the end of the boat journey, you know, it's all kind of come together already, and then they go and basically he meets up with her again, and the rest of the film, the second half of the film is mainly this restaurant and stuff, and what can be described only as a masterpiece of comedy and you know, such a touching romance that develops even further. And it's just so great, you know. I think this one is just even more expertly designed than Easy Street. I think just the comedy is so funny, you know. It's on the boat, you know, I was thinking, wow, this cannot get any any funnier, and in some ways it did. You know, once he meets up with you know, with the woman, and that kind of develops again. And when they go in the restaurant, you know, they meet up with, well, they meet together there, and then there's this waiter that comes, and the comedy there is just something else. You know, Eric Campbell once again plays the waiter, and so good in this film. It's absolutely hilarious what happens there, and it's just, it never stops, and it never gets repetitive at all. You know, this sequence goes on for about 10 minutes, probably, you know, and it's just the tension within the comedy. And then, you know, the way you anticipate things, and the dramatic irony that he uses, you know, he masters it so well. I think that the way this film is shot is wonderful. The framing and everything, the editing, once again, Chaplin is just a master of an editor, and you know, just of course, the Carl Davis score was wonderful. These are all, I'm pretty sure, these ones here are all, you know, on the Mutual, are all Carl Davis composing, and let me check the S&As, probably as well, the S&As, but yes, these ones certainly are, they're great scores, and you know, I would like to have maybe, yeah, I would have liked to have heard the original as well, the original score, but of course, you know, a lot of them are actually available at this time, and yes, you know, they're wonderful, wonderful scores by Carl Davis, and just, you know, everyone involved in this film, just great. But Chaplin, you know, what a genius, really. You know, I think this is just such a great comedy and masterpiece. It's another masterpiece, yeah, because, you know, I thought Easy Street was a masterpiece of a short, and I think this is no exception. It's another film that gets my 100% rating. I think full marks film. You know, I'll be surprised maybe if one day one of these shorts gets into my plus tiers. But you know, this is definitely one of my favourite short films I've seen. You know, full stop. You know, The Kid is kind of a short / feature film, you know, or really just a short feature film, you know, and it's hard to kind of sometimes separate. But yeah, I think you know, really, apart from, yeah, I think this is really the best short I've seen, maybe so far, you know, of anything I've seen. Just absolutely wonderful. I think, as I've said, overall, the ways that he explores his themes, the comedy and the drama, and the way he elevates, that's the thing. You know, he elevates so high. 25 minutes is all he needs on this occasion, and he's already, you know, got me, you know, emotional, and already, you know, laughed so much. You know, it's just, you know, once again, genius. Edna Purviance is great in this film. I think I absolutely love the romance. I connected with all of it, and you know, the themes he explores, you know, poverty and all that sort of stuff, masterfully done there. You know, wonderful film, another masterpiece of a short. Thanks for watching my review of The Immigrant, and expect more Chaplin reviews up very, very soon. Thanks for watching.